What's up, guys? Welcome to Broke Boys Manifesto. Today I'm going to be comparing two red dots. Both of them are DeltaPoint Pro footprints. One is the DeltaPoint Pro itself, and then the other is the Shark X Pro made by Cyelee. Both these red dots are motion activated, have auto shut off, things of that nature. But really, the biggest difference I would say would be the price. The DeltaPoint Pro here, the base model of the DeltaPoint Pro would cost you $450. The Shark X Pro here made by Cyelee, it runs you $250. So I'm going to run you guys through the specs today, and then we're going to kind of come up with an idea of why would the DeltaPoint Pro run you an extra $200, and is it worth an extra $200 when you could just go with the much cheaper Cyelee optic here. So right out the gate, guys, the DeltaPoint Pro comes with one reticle. It is just the base old dot that we've been using for a million years now. That is a 2.5 MOA dot. And then the Cyelee itself actually comes with three reticles. So it has the circle reticle, and then it has the circle with a dot in the middle, and then it has just the dot itself, and you can cycle between those. The dot itself is 2 MOA, and then the circle is 26 MOA. The amount of brightness settings this has 8 daytime settings and 2 nighttime settings. If you want nighttime settings with the DeltaPoint Pro, you're gonna have to spend another $100. The base one here, the $450 red dot, comes with 8 daytime settings and no night vision settings. If you want the night vision model, you got to spend an extra $100, which costs you $550 just to get those 2 extra nighttime settings. So base 8. If you want to spend more, you can have 10 settings like the Cyelee. In order to swap between reticles with the Cyelee, you just hold on the up or down here, and then in order to swap brightnesses, you click up or down. It's very simple, very straightforward. I kind of like that method. The DeltaPoint Pro kind of goes with like the, if you've ever owned, what is it? A Romeo Zero. It has a button on the inside of the red dot here, and you click that, and it alternates one direction, and you just keep clicking it in that direction, and then until it maxes out, and then it'll start going in the other direction. So if you want to just go up one notch, you got to cycle all the way through. I think that's pretty freaking stupid. I really much prefer just having, you know, a plus or negative there. If you want to go down or up, it's just one click away. Makes a lot more sense to me. Batteries, this one runs off a 1632 battery. This is the Cyelee optic 1632 battery. It has a supposed runtime of 50,000 hours, and then I'm guessing that's because it has night vision settings. This is the base model of the DeltaPoint Pro, so it's not the night vision setting one. So they say that it has a max runtime of, what'd they say, 15,000 hours or something like that? Or no, 1,500 hours. Yeah, 1,500 versus 50,000. So once again, the DeltaPoint Pro is in the negative here. That's this model, though. Maybe the night vision has more. I'm not positive. This runs off a 2032 battery, so a little bit bigger than the Cyelee. Neither of these red dots need to be dismounted in order to swap batteries. The Cyelee here just has a battery compartment on the side. You need a flathead screwdriver, take that off, swap batteries. DeltaPoint Pro is actually pretty cool, I would say, on swapping batteries. There's no tools needed. You just push this little tab out, and then as you can see, that pops up, and you can swap your battery. I think that's actually a pretty cool feature. I don't know why a lot more red dots don't do that, but yeah, it's pretty sweet, I guess. Yeah, so as you can see here, I think the Cyelee optic has a lot more features coming for it. If you're looking at window sizes, I would say that the DeltaPoint Pro is definitely bigger. Yeah, definitely bigger than the Cyelee optic itself. Is that worth the extra $200? I'm not really sure. I guess it depends if you have the money or not. One thing I do like about the body of the Cyelee here is it kind of has a hook for your frame here. And as you can see, it is extremely thick, which I'm guessing would make this red dot extremely durable. And then the DeltaPoint is a pretty thin aluminum body, but then they have this steel shroud that comes up over it here, which is going to add a lot more protection. Generally speaking, people probably would pick the DeltaPoint Pro because it has a little bit more time on the market and things of that. Cyelee Chinese company. A lot of people ain't gonna trust something like that, but I have torture tested the living shit out of Cyelee optics. My torture tests usually involve freezing these things in blocks of ice, breaking them out of the ice, or shooting them out of the ice. They usually test 0, and then I start beating them off things, breaking them through windows, things of that nature. They pretty much always hold 0. There's been a few other red dot companies I have tested that with, like Tacticon red dot broke. Cyeelee's the only one that survived my torture test so far. And then the O-Sight, the O-Lights O-Sight, I've torture tested that as well, and it also did break. I've never torture tested a DeltaPoint Pro because I couldn't justify probably ever buying one of these. They cost so much fucking money that, yeah, I would go broke if I started breaking these, so I just have not done that. One more thing I'd like to mention here is the Cyelee body itself, the red dot itself actually does have backup iron sights here. So really, guys, I don't know, is the DeltaPoint Pro worth an extra $200? I think it isn't. Really, I think what you're buying here is you got a Leupold optic, DeltaPoint Pro, you got name brand, you got a name brand optic is pretty much what you got going here. Pretty much the extra $200, what you're buying with that is not, it's not more quality and it's not more features. It's really just, I mean, do you want the prestige of owning a DeltaPoint Pro? If you do, that's perfectly fine. I mean, if I had money to just burn, I would probably just buy DeltaPoint Pros all day, but if you're someone on a budget and you're trying to decide between the two red dots, I think the Cyelee has a lot more going for it. Thick aluminum body, I mean, it has 10 different brightness settings, also includes night vision. You could actually buy 2 of these red dots here for less money than you can buy one of the night vision models of the DeltaPoint Pro. So, trade-off there. You're also getting multiple reticles, which is kind of cool. It might help you a lot. You know, sometimes when you're shooting up close, you might want the larger reticle, and then when you're further away, you might want the smaller reticle, just so when you're up close, you can pick up your red dot real quick. Then at further ranges, you have a smaller, you know, aim point. But, yeah, generally speaking, I think most people go with the DeltaPoint because of the prestige of owning a DeltaPoint. And, boy, I don't know. I guess they've been on the market for longer, so people are just going to trust them a little bit more. And they're also, you know, I'm not sure if they're Chinese made or not, but Cyelee is definitely a Chinese company, which I have nothing wrong with that anymore. A lot of the red dots and things like that I've torture tested over the last 2 years or so, even flashlights and things of that nature have been made in China. And I mean, we can't really hate the Chinese for basically being the industrial powerhouse of the world at this point. I mean, it sucks, but that's kind of where we're at. A lot of the American-made shit, if you want to spend more for less, go for it, but to me, it's unjustifiable. So yeah, what optic do I think is probably more bang for the buck? If it was my money today, I would buy 2 of these Cyelee optics before I bought one of these DeltaPoint Pros. No doubt. No doubt. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.